The teachers called it the Philosopher's Stone. What appeared at a glance to be nothing but an ordinary seed was actually an unknown organism bearing no resemblance to any previously discovered life form. It was said to hold all the knowledge of this world in its shell casing, just like a god. For the sake of reading its memories, the seed was implanted in me from the moment of my birth. I was created solely to become the seed's incubator. But exactly because I grew alongside it, I know its true nature. This is a demon seed. If we carelessly allow it to keep growing, one day, well, whenever that happens, I'll be dead as a doornail, so it's got nothing to do with me. I've been gifted since the day I was born, but I'm not actually a genius or anything. It's just the influence of the seed. In exchange, my life expectancy is cut short. But the entire point of my existence has always just been to read the memories in the seed, even if that ends my life. So, till the day I finally croak, my life is all about killing time. Before that, so long as I'm still alive and kicking, who cares what I do? That's how it felt anyway. My enhanced intellect meant I'd already mastered most things, and the teachers made sure I had everything I could ever dream of. There was no reason for me to feel at all dissatisfied with my life. But it just felt like something was missing. I didn't want for anything, but there was nothing fun in my life either. That's why at first, I didn't have the slightest interest in that experiment going on. The experiment was a failure, leaving a lone student on her knees in tears. The sight stole my breath away. I just didn't get her feelings in the slightest. Living without a purpose like I have, I've never seriously cried or rejoiced over anything before. Just how frustrated would you have to be to sob in a pile on the floor like that? Just how fun would that feel? So, when I asked the girl in question exactly that, she laid on quite the bruising. But, thanks to that, it was like my eyes had finally opened. A life without failure is just a life without challenging yourself. Maybe if I started taking something seriously now, things would get a little more fun. Oh, man. I always thought I'd be fine just dying whenever. Wanting to live now is like some sick joke. I was going to remove the seed from inside me. That's what I decided. But as its roots were already embedded inside me, removal was already impossible. But its very impossibility is what makes it worth the risk. The teachers were sure to oppose me if they knew. So I pretended I was going to conduct an experiment to read the seed's memories. Even cutting into my sleep left me with barely any time, so I was forced to cut corners. Making concessions on my potential survival felt so frustratingly at odds with the whole point. It gave me a strange thrill. Finally, it was the day of the experiment. At the teachers, "I assume you're fully ready for this." I couldn't answer. After all, if I failed, I'd die. I'd be dead. Just like that. I knew that from the start, but only then did my legs begin to shake. So, dying was always supposed to feel this scary, huh? Ceruria! Save me! Throwing my arms around her in the lab, I felt myself calm down a little. Seruria's my serious to a fault, hard-working favorite underclassman. She flashes me a look of disgust, but I know she doesn't really hate me. Seeing her like that only cheers me up more, and I squeeze her even harder. When I think of this possibly being our last day together, it makes me so sad that I only want to remove the seed even more. I'd crafted new theories, implemented the tiniest of improvements to my equipment, and left my documents in plain sight all for this. But, despite my efforts, I still have no proof that any of this will work. I'm sure of one thing, though. If this works, I'll be the happiest I've ever been in my whole life. That's why I no longer felt any fear holding me back. Begin the experiment right away! Upon seeing my return, the teacher smiled before activating the machine attached to me. After that, I felt something inside me burst. My head hurts so much it feels like it'll split. It's like all the knowledge held in the seed is spreading out before me like an infinite sea. If all that information pours into a small human mind, well, of course it'd break you. I really did try my best, but I guess it is impossible after all. This may be how it ends, but at least I got to have a bit of fun before I go. I don't regret a thing. Of course, that's not true. I hate this. I don't want to die. Please, save me, Seruria! MERIA! Seruria, you really came to save me?
As punishment, I'll have you sort 100,000 pollen spores out by hand, so you better get ready.
What? That'd be a real pain. Shocked back to my senses, my consciousness lifts, floating above the sea of flowing knowledge. Seruria never ceases to impress me. I can't waste the chance she's given me. The foundation of the world. Angels and demons. The blueprint for a new tree made of 22 branches. With this knowledge at your fingertips, you could even become a god. But I'll destroy every last trace of it. Like water spiraling down a drain, the truths of this world began to disappear. When I finally opened my eyes, I did my best to put on my biggest smile for the girl crouching before me, who looked to be on the verge of tears. At least make it 10,000. 100,000's way too much. The seed's still inside me, but it's only an empty husk now. Thanks to that, I was chased out of the academy. But not long after that, a guy with a staff approached us. Apparently, when I unleashed the powers of the seed, the world outside got kinda crazy, so he came to help us out. Still, inside the girl that's with him, there's almost an exact replica of... Huh? What's wrong, Seruria? You're worried about me, so you want to come too? Aw, Seruria! You really are adorable when you can't be honest. You don't need to worry. I'll always stay by your side. 'Cause I can only get serious when it comes to you, Sahuria.